Well, I thought I'd do a little video here to start off the channel, just kind of talking about you know, things and stuff and things. I bought an acreage. My wife and I bought an acreage this past fall. You know, kind of a big 6-bedroom house. You know, got a big, fairly good sized shop on it. It's a little bit of a goofy layout, but it does pretty well. Yeah, we got a lot of snow this winter. This is after, you know, several days of melting. Them piles over there were twice as big as what they were. And, you know, when we moved in, it would rain a little bit and we would notice a little bit of drainage issues, especially in the shop area. The water would run in to the shop through the doors, and due to the way that the floors sloped and settled over the years, the water would pool up and kind of just take forever to drain out. So I borrowed my wife's uncle's skid loader, and I spent a couple of days digging out dirt and moving stuff around, and had a dump truck load of gravel brought in and kind of leveled that out. It helped a little bit. It's kind of hard to see, but you know, one dump truck load. The main basis was to make it so that I could park my truck in the yard without it sinking, and well, it kind of worked out all right. You know, I moved a lot of dirt skid loader over 3 or 4 days. Took a pretty good cut out of the ground there. I think I probably dug out 2 foot of ground from well, about where the tire tracks are for where the truck is to there. I mean, even over here by the cement pad where the door goes, I bet I dug 2.5, 3 foot deep in some spots. Moved a lot of dirt over here. As you can kind of tell, when I bought the place, this was, well, it was deep. It was a very short drop off. It ramped down within about 4 foot. It was, well, to the level of the rest of the yard here. So, you know, there's a lot of dirt that I moved, and now, you know, the ground's melted and it's turned into a sloppy mess, and I'm gonna need a few more dump truck loads of gravel. The other day when all this snow started melting, we had a little bit of a issue. Well, I had a bit of an issue, I guess. It's really only my issue because it's my shop, I guess. The water started running in, and well, a couple days later, it's still a sloppy mess. You know, the water just running underneath the doors, and yeah, it made a mess. So got a lot of work to do there. Carrying a few loads of rock here in the next, I don't know, a couple weeks, I hope. See what we can kind of make happen. But on another note, since we're here inside the shop, you know, this section of the shop's about 25 foot deep by about 25 foot that way, and then I don't know if you call it an office necessarily, but the center section is, I don't know, 10 foot wide or so. I got my 85 Grand Prix. This thing's been off the road since 2010, and a couple years ago I got a wild hair at my ass, started cutting out the floor, and decided I was going to go back half it, big tire and everything else. And well, it's been a slow process. You know, especially buying a house, money gets a little bit tight. You can see this beauty of a Ford here, borrowed from my good pal Rocky. He had a couple of vehicles sitting around his place, and he actually brought this thing out to help move that gravel around when they first got the dump truck load in, which made a pretty good dozer for what it is. And he told me if I wanted to use it, he'd leave it out here and I could use it this winter, which is incredible, and I can't thank him enough for that. But yeah, the center section here, you know, you got a bench and an old countertop I got from my buddy Jake and such, and we got most of this stuff was here except for the counter. The fridge is actually a nice stainless fridge that we bought for our house a couple years ago that we were renting, and this house came with a nice fridge and everything. Not old, couple years old LCD TV that's not a smart TV. And you got a 12,000 BTU air conditioner in the wall there. You know, it ain't gonna bring this entire building down to 50 degrees, but it knocks the heat out of this section of the building. And if you open up these doors here, these are what look like vault doors. The actual short side of the shop gets pretty dang decent in there. I mean, it takes the humidity out of the air, and that's key. I got a 05 5-liter or 5.3 liter ILS motor here that's got the good rods in it, floating pins, and got a harness here that I've stripped down so it can run as a standalone setup with a manual or like a Turbo 400, Turbo 350, you know, something like that. We can take a look at the most pointless section of my building. It's a basketball court. The guy that put this section of the building up several years ago built it as a racquetball court. There's still an anchor on the wall over here. And I don't know, the cement's really nice. It's insulated. The whole building is insulated for that matter. Even got furnace heat ducted out here, even though it's kind of half blocked off because it doesn't need to be heated all that well. But this wall right here, 16-foot sidewall. It's about 19.5 foot on the inside. This is like a 40 by 20 building. I'm in the process of trying to dig up a used door, probably just, you know, for cost's sake, 14 foot by 14 foot or 16 by 14 or 16 by 15, you know, something like that, something pretty good size. This door on the short wall is about 9 foot square. I think it's about 9.5 tall. It's a completely pointless door. You can get a car in that door, but unless it's a super short wheelbase vehicle, it is impossible to maneuver around, and it totally defeats the purpose. You know, I appreciate the idea of what he did with it, but it just don't make much sense to me. So, yet again, you know, this place is a bit of a mess, but it is what it is, you know. Spring cleaning is upon us. Get this whole yard all cleaned up and get all these ruts taken care of. The old Freightliner here from work. It's got 378,000 miles on it. It's a tired old truck. We got a new one on order from work, and I'm pretty excited for that to come in. But you know, there's a quick tour, you know, and this. I'd like to mention that we aren't rich. My wife and I don't have millions in the bank. We don't have thousands in the bank. We bought a house. Well, the bank bought a house. The bank bought a shop. The bank bought 3 acres, and I'm making payments on it. And that's what it is. I'm not flexing. I'm not out here trying to show off. I'm not better than anyone else. I'm just a guy that works for a living, and you know, I'm 32 years old, going on 33, and 6-8 months ago we bought a house. First house I bought, first house my wife has bought. We waited, and we saved up money. We, you know, young and dumb, wrecked our credit a little bit, got it all fixed back up, bought a house, and it's not perfect, but it's been remodeled. 4 floors, you know, a finished attic, finished basement, 6 bedrooms, and you know, before you ask, I'm not planning on filling them up with children. We have one here, one on the way, and I have a shared custody of a 9-year-old little boy. You know, we got plenty. And as far as all that goes, you know, in the near future, I'll do some more videos in the house, maybe kind of show around what's going on there. Yeah, a little computer, you know, gaming computer. I do a little gaming on the side. You know, also where I'll be doing any video editing. But yeah, there's a quick walk around, and I guess we'll be kind of in the future, you know, the Grand Prix or whatever. I got some stuff up my sleeve, some project stuff. I want to do a little bit of how-tos, you know, maybe just just some simple informational videos, you know, maybe show how to, you know, change the brakes on a car, change your oil, you know, stuff like that. But I also intend to do all sorts of, you know, hot rod stuff, or, you know, bolt-ons, stuff like that, because, you know, who doesn't like a couple bolt-ons? I guess technically I do have a business, Geist Performance and Repair. Emphasis on the performance. You know, I was an ASE Master Certified Technician for several years, and I loved it. I worked on cars. I loved the challenge of working on stuff every day, but it didn't really pay. And now I'm in the ag repair sector. You know, I do field service for Heartland Ag, case application company out of Ames, Iowa. And I work from home, and I go and work on machines in the field and in, you know, customer locations, and I love it. Having said that, I don't mind doing repairs on the side. I got a shop, you know, and when I get my big door on the building, I'm gonna put a hoist in there, you know, as soon as I can afford it, which it might be some time from now, no doubt. But you know, that's the basis. You're gonna see a lot more of this place, and I'm gonna try and get some videos out when I'm in the field if I get a chance, and I can kind of show off something. I mean, not necessarily show off, but talk about something that I've repaired that was kind of an oddball deal or whatever. But you know, I just figured, see a lot of guys making videos on YouTube, and so I thought I'd start making my own. It's nothing too fancy. I'm nothing special. I'm not, you know, I'm not a superstar. I'm not the best mechanic there ever was, but I know a couple things, and I thought I might as well share my knowledge, or at least show some of my adventures, or, you know, screw ups. So I guess that's it for now, and stay tuned for some more stuff. Like and subscribe, and we'll see what else we can come up with in the future.